Dear colleagues, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. First of all, let me begin with the roundup of this week's activities. At the invitation of His Royal Highness Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia, the Prime Minister of Pakistan Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif led a high-level delegation comprising Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, and senior cabinet ministers to Riyadh from 27th to 29th October 2025 to participate in the 9th edition of the Future Investment Initiative Forum. The FFI-9 Forum, under the theme of The Key to Prosperity, Unlocking the New Frontiers of Growth, convened global leaders, investors, policymakers, and innovators. Deliberations focused on addressing global challenges and opportunities on innovation, sustainability, economic inclusion, and geopolitical shifts. During the visit, the Prime Minister held meeting with the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia. Upon conclusion of their meeting, a joint statement was issued that outlined the launch of an economic cooperation framework between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. The framework is based on the two countries' shared economic interest and their mutual desire to strengthen trade and investment relations. The framework would entail several strategic and high-impact projects pertaining to economy, trade, investment, and development field, with a special focus on energy, industry, mining, IT, tourism, agriculture, and food security. It is a testament to the efforts of both countries to strengthen their long-standing and time-tested fraternal relations and their shared vision towards building a sustainable partnership in the field of economic diplomacy. Both countries also look forward to the convening of the meeting of Saudi-Pak Supreme Coordination Council and are in the process of studying several joint economic projects, including the signing of MOUs on electricity interconnection projects and energy cooperation. In Riyadh, the Prime Minister also met the President and the CEO of the World Economic Forum, Mr. Borge Brende. Mr. Brende invited the Prime Minister to the annual meeting of World Economic Forum at Davos, Switzerland in January 2026. The Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, also held important engagements in Riyadh. He met with the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Faisal bin Farhan, in Riyadh on 28th October. The two leaders discussed bilateral relations, regional and international developments, including the situation in Gaza, and reaffirmed their shared commitment to cooperation at multilateral fora, including the United Nations. They agreed to further deepen Pak-Saudi multifaceted partnerships across all domains and in continued strengthening the bonds of brotherhood and friendship between the two countries. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister also inaugurated the upgraded Consular Hall and one-window MRT service at the Embassy of Pakistan in Riyadh. This reflects government's commitment to better community facilitation and provision of more efficient and accessible public delivery to the overseas Pakistanis. During this week, Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar held telephone conversations with his counterparts from Algeria, Turkey, and Canada. The DPM-FM received a call last evening from Canadian Foreign Minister Ms. Anita Anand. The two leaders discussed strengthening bilateral trade and investments, including sectors such as agriculture and mines and minerals, and collaboration under the Foreign Investment Promotion and Protection Agreement. The Canadian Foreign Minister thanked DPM-FM for facilitating market access to Canadian canola exports to Pakistan. Both leaders appreciated recent constructive engagements, reaffirmed their commitment to advancing mutually beneficial economic cooperation, and agreed to remain in close contact. The DPM Foreign Minister also spoke to the Foreign Minister of Algeria, Ahmed Attaf, on 29 October 2025. Expressing satisfaction at the positive trajectory of bilateral cooperation, both leaders reaffirmed their commitment to further strengthening Pak-Algeria relations and enhance coordination in multilateral fora, including the United Nations. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, also received a telephone call from his Turkish counterpart, Hakan Fidan, during which the two leaders discussed the evolving situation in Gaza and the next steps and modalities for achieving lasting peace in Palestine. The Foreign Minister, Hakan Fidan, invited the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, to Turkey for the forthcoming meeting next week of the 8 foreign ministers of partner countries who were engaged on the sidelines of UNGA 80 in the diplomatic process on Gaza. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to Afghanistan, the second round of talks between Pakistan and Afghan Taliban regime in the presence of mediators concluded in Istanbul yesterday evening. Pakistan participated in the Istanbul talks, which started on 25 October, in a good spirit and with a positive intention. The Istanbul round was initially scheduled for 2 days. However, in an effort to reach an amicable agreement with the Taliban regime, Pakistan side in earnest continued the talks for 4 days. Pakistan positively engaged with the Taliban regime without compromising on its clearly stated position that Afghan soil should not be used for terrorism against Pakistan. Pakistan does not seek further escalation of hostilities, but expects the Afghan Taliban regime to honor its commitment to the international community and address Pakistan's legitimate security concerns by taking concrete and verifiable actions against terrorist entities, including Fitna al-Khawarij and Fitna al-Hindustan. It is highlighted that for the past 4 years, Pakistan has been urging the Taliban regime to take decisive and effective measures against the terrorist outfits present on Afghan soil. We repeatedly shared credible information about the presence of top leadership of Fitna al-Khawarij and Fitna al-Hindustan on Afghan soil with the Taliban regime. However, despite repeated assurances in the past, there has been a surge in terrorist attacks in Pakistan from Afghanistan. The consistent and total disregard of Pakistan's legitimate security concern by the Afghan Taliban regime for the past 4 years and the unprovoked aggression against Pakistan with the support of Fitna al-Khawarij on 11th and 12th October and later on 14th and 15th October led to violent exchanges across the international border. Pakistan decisively responded to Afghan provocation aimed at destabilizing the border area, facilitating terrorism, and furthering the Fitna al-Khawarij's nefarious designs. Pakistan will respond resolutely if provocations continue in the future. Pakistan has always been desirous of peace, stable, regionally and integrated and prosperous Afghanistan, which is at peace with itself and its neighbors. With the Taliban takeover of Kabul in August 2021, we expected the vision of regional peace and connectivity to be realized. In the same spirit, despite our various security concerns, Pakistan took many initiatives this year to support and help Afghanistan and extend a number of concessions to Afghanistan, especially for Afghan transit trade. We also elevated our diplomatic representation with Afghanistan from CDA to the ambassador level and also agreed to extend CPEC to Afghanistan. The DPM foreign minister visited Kabul thrice, including on 17th July, to sign the agreement on the joint feasibility study of Uzbekistan-Pakistan-Afghanistan railway project. The government and armed forces of Pakistan stand ready to take all possible measures to protect Pakistan's sovereignty and ensure safety and security of its people. Pakistan would continue to remain engaged in the mediation process and hope for a positive outcome for the 6th November talks. Pakistan highly appreciates the constructive role of brotherly countries of Qatar and Turkey. They have been making their best efforts for an amicable and peaceful resolution of the issue. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the visit of Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Poland, which concluded when we last met here on 24th October. Subsequent to our last briefing, both ministers signed a joint statement which took note of the shared historical ties between Pakistan and Poland and stressed the desire to strengthen bilateral relations and greater cooperation at multilateral fora. The two sides also discussed Jammu and Kashmir dispute and Ukraine, while emphasizing the peaceful resolution of conflicts in accordance with international law and the UN Charter. This week, Israel continued violation of Gaza peace agreement. Pakistan strongly condemns these renewed attacks by Israeli occupation forces in Gaza, which have reportedly resulted in numerous civilian casualties. These actions constitute a flagrant and clear violation of international law, as well as breach of recently concluded peace agreement. Such aggressive measures by Israeli occupation forces threaten to undermine the international efforts aimed at establishing durable peace and stability in the region. Pakistan calls upon the international community to ensure an immediate cessation of ceasefire violation by Israeli occupation forces. Pakistan also reiterates its principal position for the establishment of an independent and sovereign, viable and contiguous state of Palestine based on pre-June 1967 borders with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. Moving on to European Union, this week the third session of Pak-EU Migration and Mobility Dialogue was held at Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Pakistan side was led by Director General Europe Irfan Ahmed and EU side by Deputy Director General Home Johannes Leuchner. The two sides reviewed the discussion held the preceding day during the 16th Pakistan-EU Joint Readmission Committee and the third Pakistan-EU Talent Partnership Roundtable held at the Ministry of INC and the Ministry of OP and HRD respectively. Both sides appreciated the growing level of cooperation on the issue of migration and labor mobility. Pakistan side emphasized that it remained committed to the Eura agreement. EU side acknowledged Pakistan's efforts towards curbing illegal migration. Both sides agreed to work towards implementation of the Pakistan-EU Talent Partnership Roadmap for mutual benefit. It was agreed to hold the next session of Migration and Mobility Dialogue in Brussels. On the Kashmir Black Day, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan solemnly observed the 78th anniversary of Kashmir Black Day on 27th October 2025, recalling the actions of the Indian forces on 27th October 1947, which led to the illegal occupation of Jammu and Kashmir. We condemn 78 years of occupation, state terrorism and human rights abuses in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and reaffirm our moral, diplomatic and political support for the Kashmiri people enduring decades of suffering in their just struggle for the right to self-determination under the UN Security Council resolutions. We would also like to express our profound gratitude and appreciation to the OIC and the OIC IPHRC for their consistent support to Pakistan's principal position on Jammu and Kashmir dispute and the Kashmiri people's legitimate exercise of their right to self-determination. A wide range of activities, including seminars, webinars, panel discussions, and photo exhibitions, were organized throughout the country and by Pakistan's missions abroad, highlighting the plight of innocent Kashmiris in the face of systematic oppression and brutality perpetrated by Indian occupation forces. In their special messages on the occasion, the President, the Prime Minister, and the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister underscored Pakistan's steadfast resolve to continue extending moral, diplomatic, and political support to the Kashmiri people in their just struggle. They urge the international community to play its due role in pressing India to end its illegal occupation of Jammu and Kashmir, halt its grave human rights violation, and seize all repressive measures against the Kashmiri people. The Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister also addressed letters to the President of the United Nations General Assembly, the President of the UN Security Council, the UN Secretary General, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, and the Secretary General of the OIC, apprising them of the grave human rights situation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. A special Kashmir Solidarity Walk was organized from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, along with a special briefing was held for members of the diplomatic corps in Islamabad. The observance of 27th October as a Black Day serve as a reminder of India's unlawful assault on Jammu and Kashmir. It also marks an occasion to pay solemn tribute to the resilience of the Kashmiri people who, despite decades of oppression, remain steadfast in their struggle for the right to self-determination. Moving on to the earthquake in Turkey, ladies and gentlemen, on 28th October, a 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck Turkey. Pakistan stands in full solidarity with the people of Turkey and is ready to extend humanitarian assistance and aid for search and rescue efforts. Our prayers are with those affected. May the region recover swiftly and with resilience. Pakistan is also deeply saddened by passing away of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the beloved Queen Mother of Thailand. We extend our heartfelt condolences to His Majesty King Maha Vajiralongkorn and the royal family and the people of Thailand. We pay tribute to Her Majesty's lifelong dedication to humanitarian causes and women empowerment. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Thai nation in this moment of profound sorrow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The floor is now open for questions.